This is ABC 7 Extra.
Welcome to ABC 7 Extra Sunday. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Ross. Tonight, we're looking at El Paso's job market, the successes, the challenges, and how you can find your future career. We'll tell you what the hot jobs are in the El Paso market. And joining me tonight, Layla Melendez, the Chief Executive Officer of Workforce Solutions Borderplex. Layla, thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, what does Workforce Solutions Borderplex do?
So in a nutshell, we are the job store. We are the local organization that represents the Texas Workforce Commission, and we help individuals get back into the workforce. So we are not the unemployment office, we are the re-employment office. So we offer a wide range of services to businesses to help them find qualified talent, and then we help that talent and those job seekers prepare for their next job.
Would you say that the employment picture is improving in El Paso post-pandemic?
Post-pandemic, absolutely. Right before the pandemic, El Paso's unemployment rate was at one of its lowest ever. In the last year, we got really close to that same number. So we're at about a 3.9%, and at our best, we were at about a 3.4. So we have definitely gotten back into under the 4%. So definitely very close to pre-pandemic numbers. So we've made some adjustments and made some changes to the workforce, but absolutely we are in a much better situation than during COVID.
Last Monday, we learned that Schneider Electric is expanding once again. They're adding 300 more jobs. But at the same time, we also learned that federal contractor MVM will be laying off 247 workers here in El Paso this coming Tuesday because their government contract ended. Is there always this ebb and flow in the El Paso job market? There
is, and really this is just kind of the nature of how markets happen in every community. But what's important is the different types of jobs. It's important for a community, for organizations like ours, for our leaders to stay ahead of those trends that are coming in industry and commerce and upskill and continually teach our workforce and for the workforce themselves to continually learn different skills. You can't expect to be in one particular industry or in one particular job forever or for a long extended period of time anymore. We saw what that did in El Paso, many years ago when we were all just one type or a couple of types of jobs. And that's not healthy because when there's a change in that industry, it's very disruptive. So it's important to be diverse in our workforce so that when these changes happen, we can quickly adjust and put people back into those jobs. So in Schneider Electric's case, we're really excited that they are looking to expand, and those are manufacturing related jobs, and not all of them will be, but within the manufacturing industry, and there may be a mix of technicians, administrative, support type of jobs. And so we look at it from an occupation perspective, not necessarily an industry perspective. And we try to take individuals, look at their skills, and then transfer them to another industry and another job.
What are you all doing to help those workers from MVM who will be displaced as of next Tuesday?
So the first thing we do is we are available to them and help them answer questions, get them linked up to getting on our free statewide job system, very similar to the online platforms, and it's called Work in Texas. So they immediately create a profile for free and they can start immediately job searching, but then we also match them with potential job openings. So in that same system, there's available openings. So we look at their skill set, their experience, their education level, and say, here are the types of jobs that you can qualify for. And we will make those calls to those employers and say, hey, we've got a great candidate here. Would you be willing to talk to them? So we do all of that matching work for them and get back to selling them back into the workforce.
And you also work with Schneider Electric.
Absolutely. We've worked with them for many years and we're really glad for their partnership. So we've helped them with hiring and identifying a workforce. A few years ago, they had a really successful job fair at one of our centers, but it's gone much deeper than that since then. They have looked to us to do some training for their existing employees, and then also looking at other individuals that are going through training programs that they might want to hire in the future. So we offer all of those different types of services.
Talk for a minute about where El Paso's available workforce is working. We have a graphic here that we'll put on screen to show folks what we're talking about here. And it's broken down into four distinct groups. Explain that.
Sure. So we look at a long list of all the people that work in El Paso by their occupation category, sort them from highest paying to lowest paying, and then we, just break them off into four pieces so that it's easy for us to group them that way. And then so the majority of our workforce is in the bottom half. These are entry to mid-skill types of job. Actually, the majority of individuals are in that blue band, which is what we call the middle skill. So, and here we can tell all of the different education level and experience levels and job categories that those people are. So this helps us determine and identify the ready available workforce. These are people that are working today, but then we also know the people that are unemployed, that maybe their last job was in these types of categories. So when we're talking to companies, whether they are here looking to expand or looking to come into the region, we tell them exactly where they can pull workforce from. And this tells us the type of skill level they have, the education level that they have. So the majority of people are in that middle skill that we can then work on upskilling them into those higher bands of jobs.
So the percentage between the blue band and the orange band, that's about 61% of the workforce. Why are there so many people at that level?
So I think that this is something that this is our North Star. This is what we are really focused on. These are individuals that are working, and they are in entry to middle paying jobs. So it is, if they're working all the time, when are they going to be able to return to school and get trained and get a certificate and get a different type of skill to move them upward? And that is the difficulty that we have in the workforce. Not only is it hard to reduce your work hours or quit work to go to school, but then it's also expensive to pay for that school. So that is some of the work that we do in helping businesses upskill their employees, but then help those individuals make that decision and pick the programs that fits them, that they can upskill, because that is the key. If we can move people upward into those other jobs, then we can create more space for people to enter.
Let's look now at how El Paso compares to the rest of the state on the job front.
So for we look at this across some other communities as well, across the state and across the country. And one of those things that we see here is, and this is data that we share with our employers, is that wage difference. It is really important for us to remind our business community that they are not necessarily competing just for labor just in this market. They are competing for labor across the state and across the country. The mobility of workforce is much easier today. So individuals that we know of in El Paso, a short distance or a short drive, hours later, they can be in another community in the state that will pay them at a much higher price. So those are some critical needs that we need to fix.
Just two of those positions, if you will, are in green, so they're getting better paid here in El Paso than in other parts of the state or even
Correct.
in the rest of the country.
Correct.
All right, but everything else in red, we got to get those salaries up.
That's absolutely right.
What are the challenges to improving El Paso's job market?
So I think the challenges are, there are several, and it's going to require a lot of people or a lot of partners to come together. Employers, first and foremost, we want to support the employers and help them upskill their existing employees, get them some credentials, get them some certificates, or and then help individuals that have some college. The majority of our workforce has at least a high school diploma. A large portion of our workforce has a diploma plus some college. If they're anything like me, I was working and going to college, and the longer that takes, the harder it is to finish and the more expensive it is to finish. And we see that in our data as well. A lot of our workforce started college but was not able to finish that. That is our biggest opportunity, is to help those individuals finish college, get a degree or a certificate. And it doesn't have to be, all four-year college degrees. There are a lot of technical types of degrees and certificates that they can get and move them up into a different skill set and a different job. And that will come with a higher salary. So all of that then elevates the entire workforce.
When we come back, what fields have the biggest opportunities for you to find work? Stay with us. You're watching ABC 7 Extra Sunday.